Absolutely. Now, I have a considerable amount of questions for you that are very orderly. So I just want to go through some of those things. What
Sure.
are the holy books in Samaritan culture and tradition? For the average Jew, the holy books are the Tanakh, right? That some would say the 24 books,
Right.
all the way from Bereshit to Divrei Hayamim, right? The Book of Chronicles. And for people who follow maybe like the more King James or English versions, they say
Right.
from Genesis to Malachi. So for you
Right.
as a Samaritan, what is considered the holy books? What is considered not so much holy, and why?
So I think it's fair to say the holiest book of the Samaritans is the Torah, the first five books of Moses, what Moses received on Mount Sinai. Any other book than the Torah is not necessarily neglected or anything, but it's considered that the only thing that was considered like really from God himself is the Torah. However, we have our own book of Joshua, our own version of Joshua, but that isn't believed to be necessarily directly from God. It might have been written by the prophet Joshua, right? That's the belief of it, that it was written
Mhm.
by him. And it is considered holy. However, the divine book that was really written by like given on Mount Sinai by God in the Samaritan tradition, by the way, it is also believed that it was that it existed in the beginning, like when God said Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim v'et when he said Veyahyeh or, and then let there be light, it is believed that this is also the light of the Torah. That's like in the tradition of the
That's right.
Samaritans.
That's right.
So
Which
yeah,
is interesting,
so
if I could interject for a moment, which is interesting because, as you know, in rabbinic Judaism, is the same. There's the same teaching that when Hashem says, "Let there be light," that's a reference to Torah. I'm going to connect that later, but I'm very
that's
happy to
the
hear you
beauty of
say
it.
that because it does show that there are some similarities already.
Absolutely, this is just the beginning. I always love to see similarities. Like this is why I love conversations like these. You know, I always learn and like boom, wow. You know, you see that there's this connection that still happens. We'll talk more about similarities, yes, in a bit. However, we also have like other books that are not exactly holy, but we refer to them for our understanding of our history and our understanding of how to interpret different traditions. We have the book of Al-Fatah, uh, which was written by Abul Hassan As-Suri. That's one of the Samaritans who was a brilliant scholar. And like I said, Marka also wrote his interpretations, beautiful interpretations. Um, one little thing about Marka, his parents named him. They wanted to name him Moshe, but in the Samaritan traditions, and even in the Jewish traditions, but in the Samaritan traditions, we're not allowed to name Moshe. It's just it's a very the most holiest prophet for the Samaritans is Moshe, Mushi in ancient Hebrew. So what his family did was they felt like he had some qualities of Moshe in him, so they named him Marka because of the numerical value, having the same numerical value as Moshe. I forgot the exact name.
Mm, mm.
However, Mark,
I would like to stop you for one moment,
sure,
right? Because
yeah,
now you're touching on something that's remarkable. There are people that consider that ideas like Gematria are things that were developed by Yehudim Jews in Babylon. And nowhere else in history were Jews practicing Gematria, even though when you study history, as early as Sargon the Great, when Sargon builds his temple,
from the
he builds
Assyrians,
it
yeah.
according to the numerical value of his name, Sargon. So we know
Wow.
that among Semitic speaking people from the Levant to Mesopotamia, as early as the Bronze Age, people were using Gematria.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it's remarkable to hear you as a Samaritan refer to Gematria when some people think that's a rabbinic invention, but here you are once again showing the
Sure.
power.
Yeah, there are like there's also some words in the Torah that I think are proof that it is like pre-coded, like if that's the word. For example, the word chodashim. "HaChodesh hazeh lachem hu rosh hachodashim." This month for you is the head of the month. If you take the gematria number, the numerical values of chodashim, it's what are the chances? It's 365. The
Mm.
number of years, right? So what are the chances? I think there's a way. We also use them. We also use gematria to also calculate our calendar, our luach shana. Luach Shana is, for us, there's a different way to interpret it. We have something called the holy calculation, the Chishvon HaKadosh. There are certain tables and there are certain things that actually we're only pass it down in the Cohen family for specific reasons of how to calculate. We have one of them, the most accurate calendars. Some Muslim brothers from Naples actually come to the Samaritans to confirm when is Ramadan and when is because you can actually use this system also to do accurate astronomy, if you want to call it. We believe we inherited this from the prophets, really, ever since Adam. So that's one of the traditions of the community.
That is powerful. That is powerful. On that note, my next question for you is,